guys, Laura with Evolution Pilates Studio here to bring you a classical Pilates workout on the Pilates Reformer. This is going to be a 3-part video series. Throughout the series, we will be working from start to finish in the classical order of all of the Pilates Reformer exercises as Joseph Pilates intended. The reason I'm breaking this video series up into 3 parts is because many of the exercises will require a little more in-depth instruction. We will be breaking down the exercises thoroughly, and many of the exercises are advanced or super advanced. Because of this, during each of these three videos, if you do need to eliminate an exercise or modify an exercise, please feel free to do so. There will be exercises that you will see me struggling with, ones that I am not as confident in my own body, so take that into consideration when we are going through the exercises. As always, enjoy the workout, modify where you need to. This is going to be a great series. I'm super excited about recording it, so I hope that you enjoy it as well. Grab your reformer, grab a box, and let's get started. Hi guys, so we're here today to finish our 3-part series, Classical Pilates on the Reformer. We've been exploring the original Pilates series, the original order by Joseph Pilates. We're about 2/3 of the way through, so we're starting with some difficult exercises today and going to continue on with some more full body and pretty challenging exercises. So, that being said, if you have not done the first and second portion of this workout right before this one, please take a few minutes to warm your body up. Make sure that you warm up the spine, you warm up the shoulders, and you warm up the legs, especially the hamstrings. Once you're all set and you're all warmed up, you'll come with me down to your carriage. As always, as we work through this series, please feel free to modify or eliminate exercises where necessary. You'll see me on one of the exercises in the later portion of the session having to modify because I'm just not there in my practice yet. So make sure that you honor your body, listen to yourself and how your body is feeling today. Okay, so when you're ready, the setup of our reformer to start is headrest up. I have an extra cushion on where my headrest meets my carriage. My foot bar is down for now, and I have 2 springs on. On my balanced body reformer, I have a heavy and a medium spring, a red and a blue. Let's come on down onto our back to start. So we're starting out with headstand with straps. And in order to get into this exercise, we are going to scooch our body down slightly so our head is right nestled in between where the carriage meets the headrest. And then I'm going to take my heels nice and close to my glutes on the actual carriage itself. My feet are fairly wide here. I'm going to make sure that I have a good sticky feeling in my feet, and then I'm going to take my hands onto my shoulder blocks. The first portion of this exercise, we're just going to lift the hips up, engaging through the core, and then we're going to take the strength of our arms and we're going to press up onto the crown of our head. Make sure that you feel like your head is in a nice safe position, that the neck feels nice and secure. And then when you're ready, you're going to reach down and grab onto your straps. We're not here for very long. Put a little bit of tension in those straps, and when you're ready, press them forward and back. And again, exhale. Really propel those hips up to the sky and exhale. Beautiful, last 2 here. And last time. Very nice job. When you're ready, carefully put those straps back. Grab onto your shoulder blocks, press up, tuck the chin, and then roll the spine all the way down onto the mat. Remove your sticky pad. Take your headrest down and grab onto your pegs or your shoulder blocks for tick-tock and corkscrew. So I like to hold my pegs here. I'm going to start with my toes to the ceiling, inner thighs glued together, elbows wide, zip up through the belly, take a breath, inhale. Let's bring our legs over to the left-hand side, look over the right shoulder, and then exhale everything back center. Up and over the other way, over to the right, gaze goes to the left, exhale everything back center. We'll do 2 more each way. Beautiful. Keeping those toes in alignment with one another. Last one each side. And last time here. Come back center and we'll go into the corkscrew. So we'll start with the hips down. It starts the same as tick-tock. So we bring our toes over to the left, the right hip lifts, then we circle the legs down around, over to the other side, and back center, and then reverse. So over to the right, down and around, to center. One more each way like this, and then you can continue this way, or you can come with me in a more challenging variation. So from here, we are going to lift our toes to the ceiling, letting our hips lift to the sky. We'll sweep our legs over to the left, down and around, over to the right and center, and reverse it. Good, just keep on going. One more each way. Last time, toes to the center, lift them high, and then slowly descend down to the mat. Bend those knees. Very nice job. Okay, so from here, you're going to slide a little further down our carriage for control balance off. So this is a very fun exercise, also very challenging. So I'm not the best at it. It's not my best exercise. So just do the best you can here. We're going to wiggle ourselves down so we have about an arm's distance in between our head and our shoulder blocks. You can adjust as necessary. Hands on the shoulder blocks. Reach your toes over the foot bar here. When you're ready, we are going to lift our toes to the ceiling, letting our hips lift up as well. So lift our toes, lift our hips. Good. From here, you're going to take your left hand on top of your shoulder block, and your opposite leg, your right leg, is going to go down right outside of the wooden rail. Then you're going to lift that leg back up, switch your hand position, so opposite hand is on top as the leg that goes down. Then we're going to do one more. Good, and from here you're really going to propel these toes to the ceiling, really lift. Look at those toes, land on the floor, and come all the way up. Now from here, you could do any number of things with your hands. You could find a balance. You could lower and lift the back leg. You can do anything you want. When you're ready, your same hand comes back onto the top of the shoulder block. Lift through that back leg and sweep yourself back up onto the carriage. Lower back down to readjust. My hair just got stuck. And we'll go to the other side. So again, lift those hips high. Let's start on our other side. So we're going to bring the left toes down now and up. Then the right toes down and up. And then the left toes down. Now remember, that right hand is on top of your shoulder block, opposite hand to leg. Really propel your toes towards the ceiling to keep gazing towards your foot and roll yourself off the carriage. Again, you can release the hands, find balance, any variations you would like with arms and legs. Then we come back down again. So, oops, I'm confused. Slide your head onto the carriage, roll back onto the shoulders, and then slowly descend the hips back down. Take a moment to relax. When you're ready, we will prop ourselves up, and we are going to set ourselves up for long box 2. So I still have 2 heavy springs, or a red and a blue spring on my reformer. Too heavy is fine as well. Then we're going to take our long box on and lay down on it facing our foot bar. So for these exercises, you do want the carriage to stay still. So if you feel like you need an additional spring for these next 2 exercises, you could add an additional spring on. Scoot your hips to the front edge of your box, hands on the foot bar or on the frame of your reformer. Bring your legs into Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. From here, we're going to bend our elbows towards our ribs, letting our head, neck, and chest come towards the foot bar as the feet lift up, and then just lower the feet as the arms extend. We'll just do one more like that, and then we'll add some legs in. Good. If you'd like to come with me, as the head, neck, and chest lower down, the knees will bend and we'll cross our feet. 1, 2, and 3. And then the legs will extend and we'll click our heels together as we lift the head, neck, and chest up. So we lower the chest down, bend the knees, cross 1, 2, 3. Extend the legs, lift the chest, and beat the heels together. Let's do 2 more rounds. Lower the head, neck, and chest. Cross 1, 2, 3, and then little beats as we extend the arms. Last time, lower the chest, click 1, 2, 3, lift the chest, and beat the heels together. Beautiful. From here, slide yourself back a bit onto the box for swimming. Chest on or off the front edge of the box. My feet, or my knees, are about shoulder distance apart here. Arms extended over the foot bar. Turn your palms to face one another. Extend through the legs, lengthen through the low back. Float the arms. We'll start slow here. Right arm lifts with the left leg, and then left arm lifts with the right leg. Slow and steady in this nice oiled up position, working right from your center. When you're ready, you can speed that up a bit. For 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. A very nice job. Prop yourself all the way up off of the box for a moment. We're going to sit on the box and turn around and get ready for rocking. So from here, grab onto your straps. I'm going to cross my straps, one on top of the other, and then I'm going to place my cross straps on top of my feet. Why? Because we are going to roll over onto our belly, and we need to make sure, oops, I crossed them the wrong way, that we can get there without assistance. If you have an assistant, that's awesome. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to roll over onto our belly and point through the toes so we don't lose our straps, and then squiggle our way around so we're all the way on our tummy. Make sure you have a little tension on those straps. I'm going to take my knees wide on the box and my heels together. And then I'm going to draw my heels towards me, letting the carriage move a little bit, and then reach back and grab my ankles with my hands. From here, I'm just going to lift my torso, pressing my feet or my ankles into my hands, getting that beautiful opening through the chest, through the front body. It should feel good. Beautiful job. This might be where you stay. If you'd like to, you can try to initiate a rocking motion. I can hardly move here, but without using the momentum of your head, you try to use your core to rock back and forth. A very nice job. Very nice. When you're ready, lower the head, neck, and chest down. Carefully extend those legs. You can just let the straps drop here into the well and come all the way back up off of there. We're going to take our box off. Place our straps back on our pegs and get ready for long spine stretch. So for me, I like to have 2 heavy springs on. You can always decrease that if you don't need that extra resistance, but for me that works the best. So we're going to come all the way down onto our back here. Grab onto our straps and place our feet into the loops, the long loops. Scoot yourself a little bit away from your shoulder blocks. Let's start in a frog position, arms down by the sides. When you're ready, just extend those legs nice and long. Zip up the inner thighs, find lots of length between the hip bones and the ribs. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale, toes over nose, let the hips float up towards the ceiling. Pause, your neck is relaxed. Separate your feet a little bit. Power up through the glutes and the hamstrings. And then in one fell swoop, we're going to reach our toes forward and try to slowly, slowly, slowly descend the spine down. Zip the inner thighs together and go again. Lift the hips towards the ceiling, toes over nose. Separate the feet, and in one fell swoop, slowly lower your long body down onto the mat. Let's do 2 more here. Inner thigh zip up. Now there's a lot of different variations to long spine. So this is one of many. If you know a different one, that is fine as well. And we'll do 1 more here. Toes over nose, lift through the hips. Separate the feet, and in one fell swoop, slowly lower everything down. Inner thighs together. Bend the knees back into frog. Let's take our straps into our hands, bring ourselves down, and place our straps back. Beautiful. Carefully prop yourself back up. We are going to come, bring our foot bar back up for mermaid here. So a nice little reprieve from those more difficult exercises. I'm going to go down to just 1 heavy spring, and I'll start facing you guys. So my closest leg to the shoulder blocks, the shin is going to come against the shoulder blocks. The other foot is in line with the front edge of my carriage. I'm trying to anchor both of my hips down into the carriage. Take your front hand and just place it onto the foot bar a little bit in front of the shoulder, and then the other arm is going to reach out to the side. From here, your long body is going to reach over, stretching the arm up overhead, and then come all the way back up. And again, up and over. Really push your shin into the shoulder blocks so you can get a nice stretch down your side. Let's do 2 more here. And last time. Now stay here. Rotate through the torso. Take both hands down onto the foot bar. Separate the hands a little bit wider. Just push yourself out. Find all that length through both arms, through the back hip. And then when you're ready, come up into back extension. And press back out, and back into back extension, and press back out. Last time here, and press back out. Good. Let's rotate back up, come all the way to seated. To transition to the other side, we're going to just face the back of the carriage, turn both knees to the ceiling, and then switch out our legs so that the opposite shin comes towards the shoulder block. Try to nestle both sit bones down into the carriage. Your front hand is going to go slightly in front of the shoulder on the foot bar. From here, let's reach out and over, lengthening both sides of the waist, and then come on up. And again, out and over, and up. Last time here, and up. From here, let's go over, rotate, find all of that length. Come all the way up, and all the way out, and all the way up, and all the way out. Let's just do 1 more here. Come all the way in, and return home. Turn your body back forward. I'm going to add on another heavy spring. So now I have 2 heavy springs on. My headrest is still down. We're going to lay all the way down on our carriage for high bridge. Now for this exercise, I am not at a point in my practice where I can push my arms all the way to straight off the shoulder blocks. I will cue you to do that, but I will not be going that far. So we'll be coming down onto our back to begin. All the way down. Feet on the foot bar. Arches on. My feet are about shoulder distance apart. I'm going to place my hands onto my shoulder blocks here, press my feet firmly down, and then roll my hips up off of the mat. This might be where you stay today. If you can, you're going to press your shoulders or your hands into your shoulder blocks so that you can lift your hips and come onto the crown of your head. This might be where you stay today. Engage through the underside of the armpits, press your hands down. If you're going to the full variation, you're going to press into your shoulder blocks till you straighten your arms all the way out. I'm just going to stay here and do little tiny presses to build the strength in my shoulders. So I'm just going to do a little press and then gently lower my head. Little press and gently lower my head. I'm just going to do 1 more. And then I'm going to just press into my shoulder blocks, bring my chin to my chest, and roll the spine all the way down. Take a moment to rest. Good job. And then just very carefully come all the way up. variation. I'm going to come down to one heavy and one medium spring, and then you're going to come to kneeling, facing towards the foot bar. So feet against the shoulder blocks here, tucking the toes under. We'll start with round back. So we're going to sit our hips fairly close to our heels, round the spine, tucking the tailbone under. Puff up the back of the ribs, firmly plant your hands into your foot bar. Then when you're ready, press the carriage out a bit. Your tailbone is still tucked under, and pull the carriage in, and in, and in. So this is a tempo exercise. Exhale, exhale. For 5, 4, 3. We're going to transition into flat back here. So lengthen your spine out and continue that motion. Now in that flat back, the knees may be able to go a little bit further back, but accent is still on a movement of the carriage inward towards the foot bar. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull the carriage in. Press into the foot bar. Make sure those toes are tucked under. We're going to hover the knees for knees off knee stretches. So we hover the knees and we press out and in. Flat back. For 4, 3. Let's try round. Last one, round the spine. 8, 7, 6. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those knees down. Let's lay down all the way on our back. Before we do so, just going to take my headrest up for a little more comfort. And lay all the way down on our back for running. So nice little reprieve. Rest the hands down by the sides. Bring all 10 toes onto the foot bar, sit bone distance apart. Straighten both legs. Let one heel lower as the other knee lifts, and switch. And switch. Good. For 8, and 6, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift both heels high, bend the knees, and come all the way in. When you're ready, let's prop ourselves all the way up, and we are doing control push-ups front and back. So we'll stand all the way up. It only gives you a little break, right? And then you're right back in it. So when you're ready, we are going to bring our hands onto our shoulder blocks, step carefully up onto the carriage. I'm still on that same spring load. I'm going to bring one foot onto the foot bar to start and press that leg to straight. Then I'm going to bring the other foot up to meet it. I like to work in Pilates V here. From here, I'm just going to press the carriage forward a bit and pull the hands right back under the shoulders. And again, press and pull. Just one more here. If you wanted to, you could lift one foot and do the same thing, switching side to side. And finally, holding the hands under the shoulders, we can do a little push-up. Last time. Straighten the arms, bring one foot down, and carefully come back in. Have a seat. Facing towards your foot bar, facing back. So hands back up on the shoulder blocks, feet up onto the foot bar in Pilates V. I'm going to press into my shoulder blocks, lifting my hips and straightening my arms. And then I'm just going to press the carriage out and pull the carriage in again. You can keep the hips low, or you can lift those hips up and do the same thing. It's a little too much on my shoulders, so I'm going to keep my hips low. Again, you can lift one foot off, the other foot off. And finally, little tricep dips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lower the hips down and shake out those wrists. Very nice job, guys. Okay, so let's take our foot bar down. I'm going to come down to one heavy spring, by placing my first foot onto the standing platform. That is the safest way to get onto the reformer. I'm going to take my other foot onto the carriage. Some people do walk their foot all the way to the shoulder block. I'm going to walk my foot about halfway down my carriage because that is what feels appropriate for me. If you need a sticky pad underneath your foot, feel free to add one in. From here, stand up nice and tall, tailbone reaching towards the floor, and then we're just going to press the carriage out and pull the carriage in. There's many, many variations here as far as arms and legs. We'll just stay standard for today, working by pressing the carriage out using the outer hips and then pulling the carriage in using the inner thighs. Good. Trying to work evenly through both legs as you press out and in. Don't be afraid to let that carriage make a little bit of noise so that you know that you're getting your full range of motion in and out. Good. Last 3. And 2. And 1 more. Very nice. Okay. Carefully come in. Step down with your carriage foot. Step down with your platform foot. Walk all the way around, and we'll do the other side. So platform foot steps up first. Other foot steps up second. Find a foot position that feels comfortable for you. Make sure you feel secure. Stand up nice and tall. Hands to the hips, hands out to the sides. Play around with what feels good, what is challenging and yet appropriate. And press out, and pull in, and press out, and pull in. Let's do 4 more here. And 3. And 1 more time. Come all the way in. Carefully step down with your carriage foot, step down with your platform foot, and come all the way off of there. From here, we're going to put our foot bar all the way back up and add on another spring. So I'm going for 1 heavy and 1 medium. You could do 2 heavy here for front splits. So we're going to come to kneeling on the carriage. I'm going to start with my left foot up on the foot bar. My right foot is kind of pressed up against the back shoulder block for now. And we're going to start just with the kneeling variation. So light fingertips on the foot bar. Spine is growing nice and long. I can already feel a stretch through the front of my hip flexor and quadricep. From here, we're just going to press the carriage out a little bit with the back leg and pull in. Press out with the back leg and pull in. Once you feel confident there, you could extend the carriage a little bit further here. Nice. So you're welcome to stay with the kneeling variation. If you would like to, pull the carriage all the way in, and we're going to stand up on that back leg. So we carefully stand up. Make sure you feel like your foot is in a good position. So my foot is nestled, kind of pushing against the shoulder block there still. And then you can press the carriage out and pull the carriage in again. Fingertips lightly on the foot bar, or if you want to try the balancing variation, you can bring your hands carefully behind your head and again press the carriage out and pull the carriage in. I'm pushing with my back foot. Feel free to extend that front leg as far as feels comfortable for you today. Last time here, come in, fingertips down, lower the back knee down to the carriage, and we'll switch it out to the other side. So you're going to bring the foot that was on the foot bar down against your shoulder block. Then you're going to slide your other foot up. We'll stay down on our knee for just a moment here. Fingertips on the foot bar. And let's start with that tiny little movement where you just press the back knee out a little bit, feeling that beautiful stretch down the front of the hip flexor, deep into the inner thighs and pelvis. Good. And then if you want to, you can go a little bit further. Nice job. Now, if you'd like to progress, you can float that back knee. Take your time to feel like your back foot is in a really sturdy position. You could do heel against the shoulder block. You could do angled foot against the shoulder block. Just make sure you feel nice and comfortable there. And then press out and in, straightening that front leg as much as feels comfortable, but initiating the movement through the press of the back foot. Now, if you'd like, you can again bring your hands up by your ears into that balance and press out and in. Last two, and last time. Come all the way in, hands down onto the foot bar. Take your foot off, take your knees down. Good, and we're gonna turn around for Russian splits. So we turn all the way around, we keep our springs the same. Then we're gonna start with one foot forward where the carriage meets the headrest, and then the other foot is going to come up onto the foot bar. So here we are to begin. My hands are on my shoulder blocks. I'm just going to press my front leg to straight, straight-ish, and then bend my knee so that my heel lands underneath my kneecap. Press out and pull in. Your back foot is firmly anchored into that foot bar. You can stay here, you could wiggle up onto your fingertips, or you could take the hands behind the head and press that front leg to straight and come in. One more to go. Fingertips down on the shoulder blocks, and from here, we're gonna straighten our front leg, letting our hips lift towards the ceiling, pulling the carriage in, and then press the carriage out for big splits. Pull the hips up. It's almost like elephant on one leg, and press the carriage out into your split. Let's do two more here. And last time. Bend that front knee in, bring the carriage home, step all the way down onto your carriage, and we'll switch out for the other side. So bring your foot right where the carriage meets the headrest. Hands are on the shoulder blocks. Walk your other foot back onto the foot bar. Make sure your hips are square, your spine is long. Straighten that front leg, or that back leg out, and then when you're ready, start to straighten and bend your front knee. Good. You can stay here, come up to the fingertips to challenge that balance, or if you'd like, hands by the ears, and again, straighten and bend that front knee. When you're ready, hands come back down to the shoulder blocks, straighten the front leg, picking the hips up and bringing the carriage home. Leave both legs straight as you extend the carriage, coming into your big splits, and come all the way back up. And again, out and up. Last two here. And up. And last time through. And up. Very nice job. Bend that front knee. Take both feet back onto the carriage. Now, our last exercise, we're gonna walk ourselves back to the back edge of the carriage in a little crouch for Russian squats. This exercise doesn't feel comfortable for everybody. You know, it's a kind of a precarious position up here. So if you don't want to do this exercise, you can do squats right on the floor, totally fine. If you're coming with me, you're grabbing onto your straps. We are gonna stand all the way up on the carriage, turning our palms up to the ceiling here. Make sure your feet feel like they're in a comfortable position. I like my feet slightly externally rotated. Make sure you have weight in the heels. From here, we're gonna bend our knees, bend our elbows, and sit down into a squat, tailbone towards the mat, and then stand all the way up. You do wanna have tension on those straps the whole entire time. Press through the heels to stand. Thinking about lengthening through the crown of the head to the ceiling as you rise up. Let's do 4 more here. And 3. Last 2. And last time. Beautiful job. From here, carefully bring one hand to the shoulder block, bring your knees down, replace your straps, and bring your feet down onto the floor next to the carriage. So that is it. You completed the whole entire series if you've done every one of these videos as Joseph Pilates intended. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you leave comments or questions down below. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.